All right, everybody, I'm at the Lagoon Park in Farmington, Utah. It gets busy out here. Today I'm going to show you some rides to go on when it's this packed at the park. Join us today on the XP Project. All right, everybody, we picked a perfect day for this video. It is slam packed at Lagoon today. We actually found one parking spot, but like I was driving around the parking spot probably for like a good 15-20 minutes. We finally found a parking spot. We're here in the park. We're gonna check out things today, just rides, attractions, like shops you can go into when it's a really busy day, because not everyone wants to just sit and wait, you know, in 2-hour lines all day. But there's a lot you can do out here when it's busy. Let's get to this. All right, so just walking into the park, one thing that I would say, just like off the front of the video here, the carnival games here are always usually pretty slow. Very rarely are you gonna see a carnival game that has like crazy long lines. So it's something to do. I mean, obviously you gotta pay for those, so it's not free. But you know, if the lines are getting really long and stuff and you kinda wanna take a little break from them, come play one of these games. They're simple but really fun. All right, and put a comment in the comments if you could. What's your favorite carnival game out here? I've always been a fan of the one where you play tic-tac-toe. That's the one that's in that quick little shot video that I showed right there. It's just kind of a fun one because, I don't know, I guess there's not really like skill behind it, but there kind of is, because you have to throw them to certain things. So it's not just like a luck game, there is kind of some skill behind it. And I've just always liked tic-tac-toe when I was younger. But I'd like to hear what your guys' favorites are. All right, so one of the first rides that I would talk about, this ride's been at the park forever, and it's the Space Scrambler here behind me. If you work out here, explain to me why, but this ride has never really had super long lines. And I think it's just because, I have a theory on this one. The line, like the little queue is only so big. And I think when people see the queue out to extended queue, I think that they like kind of just walk away from it. They're like, oh, it's just a little too long. And so very rarely is this one very busy, but I mean, at most you're maybe gonna wait like 10-15 minutes on this one most of the time. But we're here on a packed Saturday and it's a complete walk-on, so let's go check this out. You know, one thing that could be a reason why this one doesn't always have long lines either, there's no shade here at all. And so if it's like 100 degrees, like we're getting ready, I actually haven't looked at the temp yet, Dave, but I know we're at least over 90. This can get a little hot in this queue, so that might be what kind of deters people. But even during the slower season, I don't see a ton of lines on this one. But it's just a classic, and I mean, this is a ride for all ages, and we've been going on it since we were kids, so. So hit in the comments if you remember. I remember this Space Scrambler used to be like multicolored, like each cart was like a different color, like orange, purple, green. I think there was a red one. And then they changed it to the, I guess like stainless steel look. I think they wanted it to like look a little bit more space because it's called Space Scrambler. Let me know in the comments when they changed that, because I just remember coming out one day and it was just changed. They didn't really talk about it all too much. But I remember the colors, and like when we were kids, we were always excited if we got in the color that we wanted. I always try to just like pretend like this isn't even moving at all, because this thing like gets going, and it's weird because I usually, whoa, this is starting to go. I usually don't like these rides that are you know, spin rides, but this one doesn't get me as sick as like the ones that just go straight around. But this thing gets going. And if you got 2 people in here, I'm in here by myself. If you got 2 people in here, the person on the outside is gonna get absolutely smashed. This is such a fun ride. Whoa. Whoa. Ah. All right, so since we started out with the Space Scrambler, like I will say, most of those like little rides, because you know there's like small, medium, large type rides. Like your larges are like Primordial, stuff like that, you know, and medium like Jetstar, Colossus might even be considered like a medium. most of those small rides, like a Space Scrambler, Tilt-A-Whirl, like stuff like that, those are all gonna be pretty short lines. I mean, you know, when people come out here, they see Primordial, Carnival, Wicked, the big ones, and those are the ones that are gonna bring the real big crowds. So most of these small ones, you're really pretty easy getting on. But the other thing I did want to mention, because we're right by Catapult over here, any of the paid attractions are going to be a walk-on, and the reason they are is because when you go up and pay for those, they give you like a return time ticket, and so you're not going to be booked at the exact same time as anybody else. So those are pretty much going to be walk-ons. I know I've mentioned a couple things that you have to pay for, like the games and like the paid-for rides, but I'm just saying if you don't mind paying, those are things that are going to get you basically to the front of the line. And Lagoon does not have a fast pass system except for during the Halloween season for the haunted houses yet. I guess that would be a whole nother conversation. Hit in the comments if you think Lagoon should have a fast pass system. I would, if they had like a yearly fast pass that you could buy, I'd probably do it. But I would not pay for fast pass every time I come out, I guess, kind of like how Disney does it. But like if they said like the season pass is going to be an extra whatever, and you get the fast pass all season long, I probably would do it. All right, so I was gonna say, you know, let's list the rides that you don't want to go on a busy day, but the problem I'm seeing with that is that the rides that I'm gonna say in this list are rides that you kind of have to go on if you go to Lagoon. So number one would probably be Primordial. I mean, I don't think that's even an argument at all. Number two would probably be Carnival, and you know, hit in the comments if you disagree with these picks. Number three for me might be one that you don't think of. It would be Rattlesnake Rapids during the summer. The line gets insane. Like, I'm not even gonna step back there today because I guarantee that line's going almost all the way back to the district. And then the district might be a little crowded, but I think like once people kind of ride those rides, they'll probably be good with it. And then like your like next tier would be like your Wickeds, Colossus, stuff like that. But like I said, I mean, those would be the worst ones to go on when it's busy, but they're also like the funnest rides at the park. All right, so I did mention in my last video, there are gonna be a lot of things that I mentioned in these videos that I've already talked about before. I do have a lot of new subscribers, so I just wanna make sure everyone's getting the information that they need. And while we're talking about crowds, so I always take a shortcut through this alley, kind of by Midway where the haunted houses usually are, just because it's a fast way to get back to the back of the park. But one thing I did wanna mention, Lagoon does a ton of events. They'll do like Lagoon days for certain companies. Like if you work for like a big corporate company or even some of the small ones around, they'll do like Lagoon Day where you get in with your family for free and whatnot. And it does bring the crowds up a lot. So today was just absolutely jam-packed in the parking lot. And I was kind of like, oh, I wonder why, because it's really hot and da-da-da-da. But then we went back and they've got a huge barbecue going back in those Boweries. And it's a Lagoon Day for some business. And a lot of times you'll see people walking around with like the shirt with like their company logo on it or whatnot. But it's great that Lagoon does that because it lets people come out to the park without needing to pay because the company like pays for them to have the Lagoon Day or whatnot. So it's really good, but it does make the park really, really crowded. And so just kind of keep that in mind. But you know, sometimes you'll be like, oh, the park doesn't look busy, but like the parking lot's packed because the lines don't look insane today except for your big rides. But you go back to that area and there's like probably a good 1,000 or more people just barbecuing. They're giving out the food for the company parties. All right, so anyone that's been watching this channel for at least even one video knows my favorite part of the park. It's Pioneer Village, hands down. And I'm really happy that the district's back there now. I kind of wanted to mention that in this video because, you know, Pioneer Village is a great thing to do when the park is packed because really besides like the rides back there, Rattlesnake Rapids and District, nothing really has a line or a queue. So you can go through all those buildings and, you know, I've got videos up on my channel. Go back through and watch some of those. I did like little short videos on each of like the little buildings back in Pioneer Village and what they have in them and stuff. So go check those out. But you know, if you're just burned out of standing in line, you're hot, go back to Pioneer Village. We're heading back there right now. It's shady back there. It's just nice and chill. It's my favorite part of the park. It always has been. And it's a great place to just unwind and kind of look through some buildings and just kind of take it easy on these super busy days. I just smile at this stuff. I love Pioneer Village so much, and today is just great. It's a little shady back here, The wind's just slightly breezy, and they just got all the flowers up in this middle area here, because I remember that I think like 2 construction videos, there wasn't any flowers here. It was completely empty. It's looking really good back here, and it just is so relaxing. If it's a busy day, you got to come back here, and especially if you've never been to the park before, come check it out. You know, walking by the district right now, the district is not super packed, and I'm really happy about that, just because like whenever Lagoon comes out with something, usually it's like insanely busy. Like Primordial, I mean, the first couple of weeks it was like a 3-hour wait, so it's good to see that the district's pretty slow right now, but you just can't beat this coming into Pioneer Village. All right, so every summer it's my tradition to go check out Pioneer Perk, which used to be the fresh salad restaurant. They've always got an air conditioner that like blows from the bottom, and if you come just stand in here, if you come check this out, you'll know what I'm talking about. One of the best spots for some cool air in the park. All right, so heading kind of out of Pioneer Village. So a couple other things I'll mention. Back by Rattlesnake Rapids, they've got the little new like gem mining, the rock and gem mining station. That's a really good thing. Again, it's a paid attraction. I just always want to mention those. But that is something you can kind of do if it gets busy, because the couple times that I've done it or seen people do it, there's not like really anybody there, and multiple people can do it at once too. So that's a really good thing to do. The other thing, shopping. You know, when we were kids, Lagoon wasn't really known for like gift shops as much, but they've actually got quite a few gift shops now. I went through and did a gift shop video. Scroll through my videos, and it wasn't that long ago. It was this year. We did a gift shop video and kind of went through some of my favorite ones. So go check that out. But gift shopping's really good here, and they're starting to get a lot more of the pins and stuff, and I talk about those in that video. Just remember that the shows that they put on across from the roller coaster, those change when Halloween time comes. So if you haven't seen those, get out and get those. I can't film those, so I'm not going to do a video on them, but every year those shows are really amazing. Go check those out, because like I said, in like I want to say like a month and a half, those are going to be gone and changing over to the Halloween ones. All right, I did want to just take a second. I want to thank all you guys so much for just being here on the channel. It just means so much to me that you'd watch these videos, and our community is growing, and just always really good conversation. Everyone's really respectful in our chat, and I just wanted to mention that, because you know, you go into certain chat channels and certain videos, and you know, it's just it's not fun. That's all I'm going to say about it. But you guys are really respectful, and everyone's really cool in our chats. Been really respectful and just really helpful. I talk about this every video, but you know, I've been coming to the park for 40 years, and I learned so much from the comments that you guys put in the chat. Also, number 2, everybody that works out here, thank you so much. I mean, this park is a lot busier than it has been, you know, than it was even a year ago. I'm starting to see this place. I mean, there's days I've been out here, it's almost like as densely crowded as Disney. Honestly, like there's not that many people out here, but just like per density, it's almost as busy as like Disney parks and like Knott's and those can be. And the reason it is that way is because of you guys that are working out here. You've made this park what it is, and you still make it what it is every day. I really appreciate it. All right, so I have talked a lot on this channel about the whole like crowd pulling situation at amusement parks. So basically what it is certain crowds will be pulled to certain attractions. The more popular ones will pull crowds. Whenever there's like a new ride at an amusement park, it'll always pull crowds and whatnot. So one thing that I found at this park is back when we were younger, there was really no such thing as crowd pulling, because everything was just a walk-on all the time. So you really didn't have to worry about it. But when Primordial came out, and this probably happened even before Primordial, but when Primordial came out, one thing I really noticed is that everybody gravitates to that side of the park, the north side of the park. And what that's done is it's tended to make the south side of the park just a little bit slower. And that works during Frightmare Season 2. Now, Wicked can get a really long line, and Spider can get a really long line, but when Primordial's running and Carnival are running, it does tend to pull every, you know, 90% of the crowds to that part of the park, it feels like. So just since we're talking about things to do when it's really busy, you know, if you're just tired of waiting in super long lines, come down to the south side of the park, because down here you got Colossus, Wild Mouse, the Music Express, and Spider, and Wicked if it's not too bad, and some like Carnival games and the train in between and whatnot, and you might not have to wait in quite long lines during that time because of that crowd pulling. So I do get asked often, about like specific like wait times, because like, you know, if you go to Disney, you can get like on their app and like see what every ride is, wait time and whatnot. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe someday Lagoon gets that. I don't think we're quite to that point yet, but I've kind of got like a rule of thumb with the rides out here at Lagoon. So basically, if you're looking at a ride queue, so basically there's the front of the queue, like that means you're the next one on the ride, and then the end of the queue is when like the gates and stuff end. And then like at Lagoon, like people would just kind of trickle out after. I call that extended queue, because once you're past like the gates and you're just standing like on the asphalt, I call that extended queue. So basically at this park, my rule of thumb, and you know, hit in the comments if you disagree with this, if any ride is past the extended queue, I usually don't go on it. Just because that usually means that it's gonna be, you know, a little bit of a hefty wait, or just longer than what I wanna wait in. Especially on a day like this when you're in the sun and everything. But if it's past that extended queue, I don't ride on it. So like Primordial, I'm just laughing because their extended queue, if you get to the extended queue, it could still be almost a 2-hour wait. But again, I would wait in that if I wanted to go on that ride. Whereas like the extended queue for, you know, the Space Scrambler that we went on earlier, you might only wait 10 minutes in that extended queue. But it's just kind of a rule of thumb I have. If anything goes out to that extended queue, or if you hear me say the word extended queue, that's just what I mean by it. All right, and lastly, one thing that I will say, don't forget about the food scene out here. I will say, going into this season, this is the best food scene that Lagoon has ever had. And a lot of that, like the Peacock Parlor and the Candy Palace, and just, there's so much good eating out here now. I mean, seriously, I just remember when I was a kid, there was only a few places to eat out here, but you can honestly get any genre of food out here. Like, I'm just sitting and thinking, put in the comments if there's a, you know, unless it's like some way out there thing, a genre of food that you can't get out here, because they've got like the food area over by the carousel that's got like all different kinds of food. You got like your Peacock Parlor, back the barbecue, back in the back in the old mill. I mean, there's just so much to eat out here. And so if you're just tired and don't want to wait in the lines on these busy days, just go get a bite to eat. There's really good stuff out here and you'll really enjoy it. All right, everybody, that's gonna do it for the kind of being out here on a crowded day, things that you can do. Please comment. You know, I can't go through every little thing in one day, so I'm sure there's like a lot that I missed. Just kind of wanted to kind of mention a few things there, but please comment if you can think of, you know, maybe like a tip and trick or something that maybe people don't know about that you can do here. Just a couple like quick little mentions too, like they've got like the scavenger hunts and the Game On family pack thing that I was talking about in the last video. But just please put in the comments if you like, if you got any ideas of anything else. Thanks so much for being part of the channel. We really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on the XP project.